How's it going, everyone? It's Caleb Hires with Black Sheep Photography, and this is the first episode of Edit Swap. In Edit Swap, we're gonna take myself and a fellow photographer, provide each other photos, and edit each other's photos, and get each other's reactions. I wanted to look at, would our edited styles be different, and how different would they be, and also see what struggles we found along the way. Let's check it out.
Hey guys, what's up? It's James. My handle on social media is TheJamesM, and I'm a photographer out of Atlanta. Swim, intimates, and some fashion. I do a lot of photo and video, a lot of work with some modeling agencies and some signed and unsigned models. Music, photography and videography, not just like studio sessions. We're talking like festivals and shows. Yeah, that's pretty much the type of work that I do.
I predominantly shoot fashion, beauty, and swim. I'd say it falls heavier on the swim and the fashion side, but I really like beauty, so I'm pursuing that now. My editing style is it's definitely a polished look. I use both Lightroom and Photoshop to get the results that I like.
I go a little bit more punchy and poppy than a lot of people go. I like sharp edges, but I kind of don't like over texturized faces. I shoot a decent amount of portraits. I content-aware move and selective adjustment brush in Lightroom, but I do not use Photoshop in the slightest.
Did you have any struggle points editing this image? Because I know that she's in a lot of shadow. Did that bother you at all?
It was the first shot that I saw of the 6 of our photos that we shared together, that I was like, oh shit, how am I going to edit this? Because the light is very harsh. Where like if you look at the small of her back, right, where the netting comes off, that was kind of the area as I was playing with shadows and highlights where I wanted to maintain detail. And our choices to keep branch in or not in.
James, sorry to cut you off. I didn't even catch that you cut some of that branch out.
And I cut the branch out by her face too.
Damn.
I felt like it was some, they were elements. So they were great leading lines. It was framed correctly, but I was like, you know what? I think that it detracts in my mind. Like what I really wanted to do was play within the leading lines from her hand. You see how her fingers are curled up? Run that to face, then to curvature of body up to knee and over to the right, and then repeat through the water on the bottom, come back to her hand and continue to go that way. So, I mean, there is cyan in the highlights, right? What was the intention with pushing it that direction?
Yeah, ultimately it was like the split toning that really pushed it this way. And I think I wanted to because I wanted to kind of cool off the water. I just wanted to feel a little bit more tropical.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I definitely think that it does something interesting visually because you're pushing that, because it is like highlight heavy, right? Look at her eyes. Her eyes pop in a different way than the eyes do that I edited. Like this looks a little bit more, can you see my cursor?
Yes.
High key on the highlights, but not so aggressive on the backside shadows where like I tried to take a little bit of that high key out. However, I feel that your lips, teeth, and eyes pop a whole lot more than mine do. I feel like it gives it a different feel.
There you have it, folks. The winner of the photo challenge is me. You heard it from James' mouth. I've won the whole thing. If you ever want to know how to do it right, you'll just get James to review your edit, have him pick out the most subtlest detail, like the highlight of the nose, and just milk it. Just milk it all the way until you find that you are at summit and he is recording you from the base enviously. That's the photographer's journey. And I don't think it has anything to do with narcissism.
No. Or nepotism.
They might try and tear me down that way, but let's keep in mind, this is fact-based. So the next image, this is James's image, which by the way, I don't know if you guys know, but he's shooting Canon, I'm shooting Nikon. Right off the bat, I definitely made a huge change with the crop. The biggest difference I see between ours is the blues. I pretty much killed all the blues, where you kept yours in, and actually probably looks like you pushed it. The bokeh and her hair, and even like the little bits of rust, it's just like popping.
So that's in Athens, Georgia. That's a rustic advertisement outside of a place called Cotton Press. Okay. And at Cotton Press, it's a big event studio pretty cool setup. This is basically where you can see their name from the road, like the main highway outside.
Yeah, I thought it was such an interesting element, and it just felt vintage to me. I went kind of reds in the shadows, which to me always feels like
You went like very Kodak, Kodak old film Canon. Like that's what that color palette looks like to me.
There's very little color contrast in mine, whereas yours, you're getting that like pop.
I think the subtlety and the contrast of how you edited, it's just much more subtle in my opinion than mine is, because I pulled the blues up in the van or truck or whatever it is. It brings out a little bit turquoise in hers, where yours is a little bit more brown black.
I would say with your edit, like the highlights on the leaves in the back are like glowing, dude.
She also didn't even want to shoot these pictures because her hair was grown out. And I forced her to shoot. I was like, Rosie, we got to get this thing. It's going to rain soon.
There's always a reason not to shoot the damn thing. Always.
Yeah.
Always. Either you couldn't meet up if you're shooting outside at the time of day that you wanted to, so the sun situation sucks, whatever.
You gotta go with your phone, like you got to go with literally like your phone spotlight and then one hand shoot.
Dude, I've done that before.
Yeah, me too.
Crazy.
Rosie is someone that I'll tag in this whenever we post it, but she's damn flawless. She's also such a sweet human.
Yeah. I'm always looking for ways to like share the stories behind the shoots. I think those are can be just as interesting as the shot themselves.
Anything else on these two photos?
No, I think that's it. Well done.
Cool.
Well done. I love the blue yellow. I almost never go there, but I'm glad you took that chance.
I try to stay away from orange teal.
It's like a very easy tutorial that people give.
For sure.
They're like, how to get the cinematic feel.
Shoot a real
a fucking teal and orange. That's how you fucking do it. They're like, look at the Matrix. They were doing it back in the Matrix.
Nope. Get out of here.
Teal and orange.
You're clipping all over the place for sure. Yeah, you got no preamps. You're just running it straight in. Baby preamp.
Yeah. No condom, brother. Just going straight in.
Goodness. Beep, beep, beep. Censored. And trigger some people out here.
Yeah, I want them triggered.
Walk me through your thoughts on how you got here.
Yeah. So this is Lauren. I've shot with her several times. Love shooting with her. She's a standout as far as posing goes. So I always describe it as it's like catching a tiger with her. Like she'll just go. But in this particular shot, this was Miami Super Bowl weekend, squad up, gang life, whichever gang you prefer. The only one I don't like is the white flag gang, never surrender. But there was the pool area.
Okay.
And the only reason I bring it up is because she's topless. So
okay, yeah, didn't notice that. Nope, first time I've seen that.
I don't know where your eye went to.
Her face.
My eye goes to her face.
Yeah.
But
mine too.
The thing is, it's like fearlessness. So kudos to her again.
I feel that. Yeah, it looks like an outdoor shower for sure.
You definitely pushed yours cool. Let's just call it as we see it. You know what this color palette reminds me of? Man of Steel movie poster.
Okay.
Mine's more like just in key with the warmness of what I shot it in. I would say yours is a little bit darker overall.
I think I did crush shadows a little bit more though, and you can tell that if you look at her right forearm. Our highlights seem to be almost the same though.
Yeah, I agree.
You can see a little bit more of the water in her hair kind of beating up on it. And I did that with intentional selective masking of sharpening. So sharpening and masking. It didn't destructively edit any texture on the face, but it picked up on every water droplet.
See, these are the secrets. This is the vault, you guys. You understand? Like everything we're saying, we charge $4,000 for in our seminar. However, it's coming to you right now for free. Be sure to smash the like button.
Hit the subscribe. Send to your grandma.
Exactly. To me, if yours feels stormy, I mean, it's raining on her. I think it's a cool idea.
Yeah, I mean, it feels not grunge. Like grunge is not the right word, but it just feels real.
But these are pretty different.
Subtly, but yes.
Yeah, but clearly the palette is like everything's white or bright. Even her denim's very bright. She's wearing white. She's on white sheets. The room is white. There's a white light window behind her. So I'm just going to start with what I see. Now mine has more of the high contrast, I would say. Super punchy on mine versus yours is more subdued.
It's softer.
Interesting.
On your edit, you clip a little bit there. It looks like intentionally to get this overall punchy feel, which is interesting because I went the opposite direction and was like, I need to tone it down because I unintentionally overexposed this shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm glad you included it. Like your skin tones are more faithful, I would say. Mine are pushing towards the reds, the pinks even.
Yeah, a little more magenta in there.
I like the way you did her face.
I took some of the hard shadows, both on the eye and around the mouth and on the forehead. But what I did to compensate for that is if you look at the photo close enough, I added grain to the whole thing. I had a texture.
So did I. I was looking at that. Like that was the first thing I looked at. If you look on the wall, it's the easiest place to see it on both of ours. I thought it called for it. I usually don't add grain to anything.
But I thought this called for it because it felt more light and airy. And I was like, you know what? We have a little bit of clipping. If I want to take it softer, I'm going to go ahead and introduce more noise anyways. So why not be intentional about it?
Yeah. And then I pushed, like I used the curves to push up everything close to white, but I brought the whites down. So like the output was like 245 instead of 255 or something like that.
I wanted there to be no clipping on her body at all. So I took everything. That was my gauge. I was like, the window and the wall can do what they want. I don't want any clipping on her body at all.
Yeah, I think I just like ran straight for the fences on this one. I was like, just push everything. I saw the windows clipping and I was like, I'm going to make the whole image do that. Like, I need more of that. I saw it. Lightroom was like flashing. It was like, I'm blowing this whole picture out. Let's move on to the next.
Ooh, 3-3. It's the studio shots.
Okay.
But I like that these are different.
Yeah, you want to reverse that order for the audience?
Oh, yeah. My bad.
For the people at home. Explain to the people at home what exposure is.
Hard pass.
I thought it'd be interesting to include a studio shot. Your shadow's clearly deeper. I don't even think your highlights are as bright either. Like, I think it's overall a darker photo. Would you agree?
Yeah, I took them down because I thought it was pretty poppy.
So just a real backstory of this photo. I actually had a new strobe I was working with malfunctioned on me. There's a power slider that controls the output of light, and it was stuck on the highest possible flash. So I had to just crank my camera literally to the edge of all the settings to even be able to shoot it to where it wasn't overexposed. It was very difficult, but we made it work. Got some good photos out of it. What's your take on differences, James? Give me a hot take. The hottest take you got.
Hottest take I got is I crushed the depth of the hair, lips, and makeup over the eyes.
The hair is the biggest difference. That was a masking job.
Yeah, here's the raw right here.
Yeah.
It was pretty flat. I mean, it had...
Son of a bitch.
What?
I'll blank that out.
It was pretty flat.
You goddamn bastard.
What?
You definitely punched it up.
Oh, yeah. Like, there's a massive difference.
Like, you can see the structure of her face now after you've gotten to it.
I think also, like, we went different hues on the eyeshadow.
Yeah. I took the yellow almost all the way out. My skin going towards magenta, maybe that's something I do. I don't know.
It is.
And then
it's something we do in a lot of photos.
Do I? Okay.
Yeah.
This is a class about self-awareness and denial. My hair is definitely saturated, and definitely the shadows have been pulled way up. I wanted to see the crinkle like texture that she had going on. I thought that was cool. Yours is definitely like moodier.
I like your use of light here, though, for sure. I'm pretty bad in studio because that's not something I'm super, super comfortable with because I just don't do it, you know?
Yeah, how'd you feel about it?
I felt good. I like to go poppier, like way more moody, and I try to stay away from clipping.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like that strobe was firing, man. It was firing. So I definitely understand that struggle. It seems like I just leaned right into it because the highlights are bright.
And that's where we went
What?
the opposite direction. I took all of the highlights down. I made them a lot softer because when I first started shooting and editing, I did a lot of overexposure stuff. Terrible, in my opinion. The way
Did it scar you?
What's up?
Did it scar you?
I don't know about scarring, but like I didn't do it tastefully like you just did in this photo.
James, tell us how you feel.
Well, I feel very perturbed. I think you said too many cuss words in this. We're gonna have to just redo the whole recording. So it's been
Yeah. Well, Lent is over, so it. You want to know how I afforded my camera? Swearing jar, bro. To myself.
Wow. That's some
Yeah, a certain kind of discipline. Yeah.
A discipline to collect the money from yourself. Yeah.
Well, I called it devotion to swearing.
Well, that's called target fixation, but that's okay.
Devotion to debauchery has gotten me so far in life, James. You understand?
Yeah, you should make a clothing line.
It's a lot like how I treat the highlights. Do you think you've gone too far? Run right at it. Just keep going.
You are at the point of no return. Continue to run.
You're like, we got to edit this out. There's too many cuss words. And I'm like, the fuck did you just say? Let's go to the next one. Let's do it.
Yo, this looks so different.
Yeah. What? Okay, clearly we cropped differently. But off the rip, your photo makes me wish I pushed the shadows down more. I like the way her hair looks and yours better than mine. Damn it. I was undefeated. I had won every single edit challenge until now. I'd crushed you. I destroyed every effort you ever did. Now, the upset in the last round.
It's a final stand, and you just got smacked. Little League Baseball.
I mean, I was like literally Goliathing all over the place.
And then David came out of nowhere and hit you in the balls with a little rock.
You kept a lot more green. Your leaves look wet, like dewy almost. And mine look like they're about to catch fire or have already caught on fire.
Yeah, but you left way more detail in her eyes, which I like.
Yeah, I can't remember. I pushed one of these hue sliders one way to get that two color look in the leaves.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was kind of cool because like the only really color we had in her was like the yellow tones in her hair and skin, and then she's wearing black. So I was like, well, I can kind of mimic that in the background too.
I mean that yellow green in the back, I got rid of intentionally with the green hue slide. I was like,
yeah, you push it the other way.
I didn't want anyone's eyes I didn't want the contrast within the leaves because people will start focusing behind. And the whole point of where I wanted them to focus was basically the leading lines with the hair onto the eyes and lips. That's it.
Mm-hmm. I really like whatever you did to her skin. Oh, you bastard, you cleaned up the hairline again. What was I doing?
Dude, you know what? I really thought from me taking the logs out, like the branches, I really was like, dude, if I don't do this and this man does it, I'm going to be mad because I know he's going to do that.
You took it to the next level. Like now I understand. I understand what I'm up against. I understand that James don't play no games.
I do that all in Lightroom specifically for anybody that's watching that thinks that your workflow has to be Lightroom for color and then Photoshop for retouching and whatnot. It's just not true. You should know Photoshop. I don't know it that well, but you should know it if you want more tools at your disposal. I think it's about having the skill, not necessarily having to utilize that tool to do it.
I love the differences in this photo. You did the similar thing where you went generally darker than I did. I'm like in your skin tones. You know, I wonder if I typically lean magenta because I shoot Nikon. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Don't blame the camera.
I wonder if it's not my fault at all.
Okay.
I wonder, wait a minute. If I think about this the right way,
it's never been.
I'm the victim. Wait a minute. It's not my fault.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I feel so much better now.
It couldn't be your fault.
It's not even my loss. It's just the camera's problem.
Yeah, thank God you're good.
Damn. That was close, dude. I almost felt something.
Yeah, you almost had to take ownership of action. Personally.
Oh my God, dude.
Could be bad. Could be
that
good.
Was close.
Didn't just
Oh, my ego. Almost got bruised for a second. Well done.
Okay, hardest photo to edit, I believe, of Caleb's was the log. And the reason why it was a log is because of the lighting. Lighting was pretty harsh. It was intentionally shot like that. We had some leading lines with some branches, and the water was a little bit dirtier than I kind of wanted it. So I went in there and cleaned some stuff up. I would say that's probably the most difficult, but it was also kind of one of the most enjoyable too, because it allowed me to push myself a little bit.
The most difficult edit of James's photos, white background. I think it was the dynamic range of that photo was kind of tricky as everything was light and her hair was very dark. And so I was struggling to see how much of that pop that I wanted, how much of that contrast that I wanted. But I definitely enjoyed it. It's a little outside of what I typically shoot, and I'd like to shoot more of that myself. So thanks for providing that, James. Well, that was it for the first episode of Edit Swap. I hope you got something out of our conversations, as well as some of the stories we were able to share and some of the struggles. If you like it, make sure to hit subscribe and hit like. It really helps me out, and I'll see you in the next episode.